So in a Julien, we're just kicking it at the crib in the Hollywood Hills this evening, and we thought we would do an experiment and try to do like a podcast style video, just really long form. So if you like this kind of podcast style, we got kind of a cool little setup over here, just like kind of overlooking the cliff up in the hills. We're just relaxing, we're out at night. So if you want to lock in for that, cool. Here it is, and maybe if you have any suggestions on what you'd want or things like that or what to cover, just leave it behind. But we're gonna do that for you now, and we'll just test it out. First one. This is what he said. He said that we have this thing like the amygdala. I'm not a brain guy, but like brain guy. But I haven't studied the brain that closely. But he says that the amygdala is always looking for threats all the time, and that we feel it more strongly because what happens is that if you are in nature, earlier in our evolution, if you're in nature, if a tiger jumps out and attacks you and kills you, those people get weeded out. Whereas if you miss an opportunity, it's not that big of a deal because you could always survive to get that opportunity later. So we're much more sensitive to what we could lose or threats than to possible wins. I mean, that's why a lot of people won't quit, like, a shitty job, for example, because they're afraid of losing their job in the survival and going for a big win. So, or you get afraid to approach a girl because you're afraid of getting in trouble as opposed to thinking of the win. So he says that, like Brexit, for example, they were focusing that on, say, immigration, and they're like, these guys are gonna come like fuck up all your shit. And like, I don't know enough about it to even have an opinion. It could be true. I have no idea. But the point is that that it was a good fear tactic, and people didn't think Brexit was going to happen. So then, but then, funny enough, it did. And so what Big Mike says is that that's my he says. I used to call my roommate, but he's like mansion mate, right? Because I guess roommate for grown men sounds pretty whack.
My roommate,
I don't know if mansion mate sounds better or not, but what do you think? Better?
Yeah, your little college dorm, your roommate, your college dorm, yeah.
Okay. So my dorm mate, I call it my dorm mate.
Say Big Mike who lives with me.
Big Mike who lives with me in my
college
dorm. So he said that he thinks that Trump, he's like he was all stoned one night and he's just like sitting with me like out here I'm like listening like Big Mike like almost like stone rant. He's like, bro, Trump's gonna win. Trump's riding on the evolution highway. And I'm like, what's that mean, Big Mike? And he's just riding that highway all the way to presidency. He's like, this is a political candidate unlike anything we've ever seen. He's just using fear to get to the top. It's a new type of political candidate. And now, because basically like the media has been pumping fear. So now Trump can come in and he's like, he can ride on top of that fear. And Big Mike is all stoned. He's like, Hillary's giving these messages of optimism. He's like, she thinks it's gonna work. It's gonna fail. That's not riding the evolution highway, right? Like the critter brain, right? So Trump is poking the critter brain of like fear, make America great again. And they even say that actually, like, if you study it, supposedly, like now there's like less threats, like things are safer than they've ever been, and everything's going way better than it's been. But again, the media, it's like, look at these things happening, and they're always pumping fear. So now all of a sudden it's like, Trump can actually ride. He can make a platform above all that media because he's saying, hey, look, we're addressing all these threats in the media. We've got to make America great again.
Yeah.
Harking back to the golden era.
It's literally like sales. It's like whatever their fear is, amp it the fuck up, like scare them shitless, and then be like, I'm the solution, buy my shit. Literally, that's what he does. He's like, build the wall, this. He's like just poking it, so everyone's like, oh my God. And he's like, I have the solution. And then everyone will just jump on it.
Yeah.
And then you have like the whole like clickbait, the whole surface where it's like, oh, let's just share it. Like, fuck the content. It's like the wall.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like when you think done, you think, dude,
wall.
it's crazy. And I was actually shocked.
To make America great again.
Dude, no, it's crazy. Like you see some of the videos, like that was the first one I saw about the wall, and I've never seen someone like so serious about a fucking wall. It's like, and I build a wall like no other. And I'm like, how can people...
To protect them.
Probably most people won't even watch that video, because if you watch it, it's so ridiculous, but it'll get the headlines and people will share it and people will be talking about it.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about the fear, link it, I have the solution, done. And, yeah, it's fucking crazy.
It's so crazy, dude. Your life is crazy.
Yeah.
What happened to you? And now the same phenomenon being used for a U.S. president.
Yeah, well, it's also something just hasn't been recognized in the mainstream yet too. So it's like anyone who like knows like that mechanism, you can just use it. whack. But one thing with the media too, by the way, it's like that whole fear pumping. Other interesting dynamic, and I tell this actually to people, it's like, if you want to get over basic, like, say, social anxiety, stop watching the fucking news and media.
Yeah.
All of those fears, because we project the worst case scenario.
But how are we going to make America great again if we stop watching the media?
You won't hear the wall updates. But no, that media thing is quite interesting. Yeah, it's like poke those buttons, it just gets shared.
There's this drunk dude in Seattle. He's got the Make America Great Again hat on. He's drinking a beer like I'm drinking this water. He's got a cigar, and he's just looking like a pimp. Like, he's just sitting there, he's like, yeah, like that. And I see his hat, I'm like, what up? Like, as a joke, because I think it's funny. And he thinks I'm like another, like, on his support team of Trump, right? I don't even have a strong opinion on who gets elected. I don't know enough about it. But the point is, like, but I do know that Trump is clickbaiting. That I do know. I don't know enough about politics to even have an opinion. Like, the idea that I would even, like, have a say in what either of these people are gonna do, right? But it's like, and then he's like dapping me. He's like, yeah, you're gonna make this shit great. He's got his drink and a cigar. It's like a party. Me and you need to get the Trump hats for a video and like some drinks.
Just make him
And we can go through the grow with it. And LA is probably like very anti-Trump, so get people all pissed. And then we'll get them screaming like, make America great again, make America great again. Shit's going to hell in a fucking handbasket, people dying, getting shots.
we
Do we have the balls? No, now the next media thing.
That'll be the next media thing. Then he'll probably use that as the next media thing. Look. God. Yeah.
Because that's how it worked on you, right? It was like this coach traveling the world, teaching this crazy shit, right? And people are conditioned to believe that could even exist. And then people would pay for that.
Well, no, I don't even think they think that in depth. They just think, and like, again, everything's just surface focus.
So like, amygdala, just fear.
Yep, fear, and like you'll read the title, that's it. It's like most of the time now, if you ever go through like a news website, I mean, I almost never do, but if I do, what do? I just scroll down and read the titles. And then if I read the titles, like, oh, captivating, I'm like, couple sentences, done.
And yet, after global press, how often are you recognized not by fans, but by people who saw that mainstream media? Zero.
0 times since.
We just walked down the street. Yeah. You remember when that shit was happening, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, you know, and you're like, you're just waiting.
Get all paranoid, like, oh my God.
And no one cares. They just like sit there like, boo, and that's it.
No, it's crazy, and no one cares. No one takes time to actually think about it. No one looks into the videos either. It's just like surface, and then you're like, share. Like you're basically just sharing a title, or like that whatever emotion that title provokes without even thinking about the content. Like if you actually sat down logically with anyone, it's like, wait a minute, well, what about this? Then they're like, oh, I didn't think of that. I just shared, you know? Yeah.
Outrage.
Crazy. Yeah,
People share outrage.
Well, there was like, I think it was McDonald's or something that did that, where they're like, you know, there was this whole article like, oh, we rejected this little kid because the kid was like disfigured or something. It's like, oh, you're scaring the customers, kick them out. McDonald's planted that story to get that shared.
Really?
Yeah, shared it, and everyone was sharing it. It's crazy. There's like
anger,
yeah.
And then we're gonna fix it by sharing it.
It's true. Yeah, just share. It's like whatever gets the word out. It's like if you want something to share, just get outrage. Better than peace and love. No one fucking shares peace and love. Well, now it's a little bit more of the inspirational stuff.
There is, but then the downside of that is that by sharing even that, it alleviates you from taking real action.
And you don't feel as good sharing it.
Interesting. Okay.
Because it's like when people share outrage, it's like that little rush where you're like, ugh, like you got your little outlet of outrage. When you share something positive, you're like,
got it.
Like, oh, that's cute. Let's
got
share
it.
That. Oh, I wonder what my friend. Yeah, inspired.
Got
Versus,
it.
oh, fuck this, bro. So, and not just you get your little outlet. Now it's like you feel like you're behind a fucking movement and you're doing justice to the world and everything. So it's
well, what's funny too is like with the love stuff. So I never look at social media for years and years. Never ever did. And you know, like I would talk to you. I'd be like, "What's on the Facebook?" Right? Like, what's over on that thing? So I'd never seen girls' like Instagrams or Facebook before. So all of a sudden I'm getting on like Instagram or Facebook. Some of these women they seem like goddesses. I'm like, good Lord, like these women, philanthropists and like just changing the world. Like, where have these women been? This is amazing. Oh my God, like I could be out at Warwick tonight meeting another Hollywood girl, or I could be meeting this like giving superhero. And then Alfonso, he's like, bro, you're believing the fucking commercial here. And I'm like, this is not a commercial, Alfonso. This is an angel, and you're not seeing this. And we will be married and do philanthropy together. And he's like, bro, it's just you're believing the commercial. Like, not only are they like photoshopping and changing the lighting and changing everything, but it's even like if you just give simple lip service to something, you just say, well, I believe like hustle. Like, it's not that you actually hustle. Like, you could look at somebody's fucking eyes and see if they're hustling. But what I'm saying is, I think hustling is cool. Like, I think that in principle, hustling is cool. In principle, loving the world is cool.
Making America great again.
Making America great again is super cool. But it's like, it almost alleviates you from doing it, from taking action. Isn't it amazing?
Talking about it, yeah.
Like, thinking that people who don't even take action could have a say or right.
Actually, Ryan Holiday talks about this in his new book, Ego's the Enemy. He's like, nowadays with social media, you can literally get, back in the day, say you wanted validation, or you wanted to like build a business where everyone would be like cheering you on, be like, fuck yeah, this guy's awesome. Now, you can just jump to the end result without doing any of the work. Where basically, you go on Facebook and you talk about the business you're gonna build. You're like, hey, you know what, guys? I'm thinking of hustling. I'm thinking of building this awesome fucking business. I'm thinking of changing the world, curing fucking like, world hunger, and just making America great again. Bang, you post that. And all the comments are going to be cheering you on, and you're literally getting that validation high you would get once you did it without doing shit. Just by talking about what you want to do. And then you can literally go in detail like, well, what do you guys think about this plan? What if I did this thing? And you get more validation, more comments. You can change your Facebook to reflect your business. Like, that's the most common thing now. You'll see, some guy who's like living in this shitty apartment, say, here in Hollywood, go up to somewhere very like beautiful, like, oh, I'm going on this hike, like out in nature, and like do like a little jump in the air, capture it, Photoshop the fuck out of it to make it look extremely professional, buy the URL to his company name, create like a little WordPress website where it's like the bare basics, like just contact me here, maybe like buy the business name, so on and so forth, and now he's like he has it.
Yeah.
It's like he's made it. It's like he's not doing shit, but it's
founder of.
Yeah, founder of, CEO of, that's your Facebook description. And anyone that falls on you, it's like, whoa. And was he sharing? Hustle.
Got it.
Yeah. And now you have the guy like getting that validation without doing shit.
Do you think that we could make the thumbnail of this video, me and you doing the jump?
Just up in the air.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Like, yeah, it's like talking is replacing like working, and then people are confusing talking with working. And that's the other one where it's like trying to be as realistic as possible with what it takes to get good. Like with the trend of say YouTube or even videos like this, someone will watch the video and be like, whoa, these guys, like their only job is making these videos versus the actual work that goes behind it. So even if you take success with women, they're literally thinking success with women equals making videos talking about success with women. And I went through a period where I didn't release that many videos, and people were like, is he still doing success with women? And I'm like, there's a difference between doing this, teaching this, doing events, coaching clients, and releasing YouTube videos. But yet it's like this blend. So people kind of get sucked into the work is talking about it. That means if I want to do it, I need to be talking about it, and talking about it is above the work. And then it's like the work's just gone. And it's just this culture, this like validation where that's everything you chase. And that's what motivates then people to do it. It's like, I'm just doing it for the validation, doing it for the validation, doing it to get this, doing it to get the recognition. And then you sell out on your purpose, on your dreams. You don't know what you want anymore, and then you're just not happy even when you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the big joke too is that like me and you, business-wise, in the real business world, are fucking fleas. Tony Robbins, the dominator of this industry, all-time GOAT, is joke. Real business people are not like, whoa, the big life coach guys here. Ooh, Tyler and Julian.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think that what we did was interesting was that we did something that was outside the box and had the balls to stand up and do it. That's interesting. But as far as business success, I mean, people don't realize how steep the pyramid goes, just how successful you can get, how much cash is out there. Like, look at what Felix Zen says at the end of How to Get Rich in those books. He calls $1 million a year comfortably poor.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's the same thing with success with women, right? Like you think, you got your cute girlfriend that you're killing it. You don't realize how much certain guys out there are killing it. as far as like people say they're like athletic, right? You think you're an athlete because you did a little hike or some shit like that, right? You don't realize there's guys out there that are sprinting at levels that like you can't even conceive of. So like in my mind, it's like just be happy that you're in the game at all. Feel blessed to be here.
Yeah. Well, what we did too is we didn't dumb it down. That too, it's like we didn't cater to that surface focus.
Yeah, and that's why people like us too.
Like we say shit how it really is. It's like it's a lot
or at least as best as we can figure out.
As best we can, and we jump into those nuances, and that's the thing people don't do. It's like it's either this or this, this or this, this or this, and that's like number one. I'd say like barrier like to success that people have is like they can't think past black and white. And they get confused. It's like you either hustle or you don't hustle at all. And it's like, there's that balance for examples. They can't comprehend that. So I think that's something that we do. So we don't dumb it down. Like even a lot of those top business guys, like they know. Again, you talk to them behind the scenes, they know all these fucking nuances. But if they go up on stage, say they're even talking about business. Again, just for the ones who do public speaking about it, they're just going to be like, find a mentor and do this and just
work hard.
Just work hard and give. The more you give, the more you'll give.
Yeah, like a guy like Ted Turner, I saw him say the same thing, right? It's like, it's just about philanthropy. And like me and Derek.
They all say the same thing.
Yeah.
If you look at the comment, like, for real, you're watching this, like, all these, like, business people, if you look at them, there's a thread. It's the more you give, the more you'll receive. You need to surround yourself with people at your level or above so you're inspired. Put in the work and, Give a bit to a charity. That's it. And they're all just repeating the same
because
thing.
they have to protect themselves from the angry, pitchfork-wielding masses who, if they talked the real shit, would be furious.
Oh, fuck Yeah. If they heard the behind-the-scenes conversations, like, it's insane. They'd flip out like, oh, my God. Or they'd just be confused, and there's like, this is too much to handle. I like this guy because it's very simple. Hustle. Hustle. I get hustle. I understand hustle. It's straightforward. There's no complication around it. Hustle. Yeah.
You know what it says at the start of the Kabbalion, one of my favorite books? It says milk for babes, meat for grown men or strong men or something like that. It's like they need the babies need the fairy tale, or it's just like disturbing. But then I think the other side of the coin, of course, is that other people can assume that anyone that's successful did something fucked up, not realizing that like it really was a lot of integrity and delivering on your promises and working super hard. So there's two sides of it, right? The truth is in the middle, where it's like, people think that anyone that succeeded is doing all sorts of creepy, crazy shit, which oftentimes is not true at all. But then, because that's kind of what I came from. Like growing up, I was like, why I'm not successful? Because I'm not cheating the system. Like, it's like how people look at, say, successful women, and they think that only if you're manipulating or using trickery could it even work, because they can't conceive of a reality where they actually became better and got better results. So I think that, like, there's definitely two sides of the coin. Okay, I don't believe in aliens like, oh, there's aliens out there, but if you stop and think about it, I mean, I guess you got to assume, given, like, infinite time, or I don't know if it's infinite time, but just like huge amounts of time that we can't, like inconceivably huge amounts of time, inconceivable amount of planets. Like if you actually do a proper, like a YouTube search about like the galaxy and you realize how insignificant we are, it's beyond the imagination. So we've got to assume that there's other intelligent life out there somewhere, right? Now, maybe it's beyond physics to be able to travel to where Earth is, but you've got to assume that like given enough time that they would eventually figure out how to travel to Earth. So, people have different theories on it, like maybe no civilization's ever made it past that point, maybe we're going to destroy ourselves, a lot of different reasons for it. But, you can also believe in God and believe that, like, this really just is the only planet and this is kind of it. You could believe that we're in a dream. There's so many different ways you could look at it. But assuming that there would be aliens, okay, so we'll go with that. Okay. What's fucked up is that we're sober right now. If we were really high, this conversation would be like
aliens. It's like... aliens, man. Yes, keep going, man. Yeah.
Okay. So
they're among us right now.
We do have Big Mike, the marijuana Don, sleeping in the crib. So I mean, in theory, maybe he put some oil in us that we didn't know or something. But basically, like, given that you got to assume they're there and they're not coming to help us, like, yo, why aren't you motherfucker coming to help us? And they're not coming. So I guess what I get from that general idea is that people at a higher level have realized that other people at a lower level just got to figure it out for themselves, It's like they say, like, don't try to teach a pig to fly. You can't do it. The pig will get pissed. So, let's say don't argue with the pig because you both get muddy, but the pig likes it.
Yeah.
So, clever way to like downplay anyone that disagrees with you, but nonetheless. So basically, like, given that we're not being helped right now, that we know of, who knows?
Yeah.
Why aren't they helping? Well, they're not helping because they realize you got to let people figure it out. And so I think like this is a common thing that people that are broke don't realize is like a lot of successful people want to help them, but what they found is they've tried it. They've tried helping their families and they've tried helping other people, and a lot of time what winds up happening is that they're perceived as manipulative, assholes. They get, people get pissed at them.
Yeah, they rebel. There's resentment. It literally feels like, you're a kid and it's like your parents, like, no, do this. And you're like, well, fuck you. I'm a fucking, it's like they'll go the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'd say 80-90% of people who resent me the most in my life, I don't think anymore because people move on. It was typically the people I invested the most into and really sincerely tried to help. Like people who I invested hundreds or thousands of hours in trying to push them to another level, and they walk away from it in a way that they're displeased. And I guess at some point I got to look in the mirror for that too and be like, was what I was doing bad or something? And maybe there is some ways. Like, a lot of the time what it would be is like I'm trying to help them, and maybe like I'm trying to get some tiny thing out of it that I don't even need, just to make them feel like they're contributing, like literally just so they can feel okay about it. And then later, like they walk away from that thing like he was getting this, and in my mind I'm just like, dude, like, I did not need that. I'm just trying to make you feel helpful and like part of it. And so I think that like again that whole like milk for babes, meat for strong men thing from the Kabbalion, what it comes down to is like, what a lot of business owners and people have realized is if they kind of lay it out like it is, a bunch of people just get pissed. They get their panties in a fucking knot. They get misquoted. The media sound bites them, as you're experienced with, and then basically just makes a shit show out of it. And their view is like, look, if somebody really wanted to figure out what's going on, they could look into it. They could figure it out, and they'd know anyway. So then assholes like me or you make video content where we're like, hey, here it is. People are like, like why? Like I'm sure people watch some of our like pickup videos and they're just literally like, why, no? Like you see like me or you like meeting some perfectly nice, sober, sweet young girl in college, like getting like a business degree, and they're like whore, slut, whore, and it's like dude, like drunk, and you're like. She said, because she like in many videos, like I'll even ask just to make the point, like, are you sober? And they're like, I'm completely sober. And like she said she's sober and in college in the video, and yet like they can't accept that if that girl just liked a guy who they think is maybe not even like, maybe they look at me and they're like, that guy's balding. How could he be getting this? Right? And it disturbs their mind so deeply. It just messes with them. So I think a lot of people, they realize that if you incite the mob, like funny enough, at the start of the Kabbalion, it says it says that the students of this over the centuries, over thousands of years, which is what it says, have known that if you don't share this with people who aren't ready to hear it because they just get pissed, and they basically, what it said is some quote. It was like they kind of sit idly by, like looking at the masses, just going like,
yeah.
Like, okay, just like kind of half smiling, just like, all right, and that's what's up, right? So it's kind of a funny thing. It's like you want to educate the masses, but there's only so much you can do because they don't want to hear it. Almost like me or you probably don't want to hear about how to advance physics. Some guys like, you need to learn advanced physics. Come on, you need to know, right? And then you're just like, oh, dude, whoa, like you don't need that. It just doesn't apply to you or where you're at in life, so you don't care.
The more real you get, or if you're like really committed to your message or what you're working on, like in an interesting way, you're only going to connect with those other people who are like, ready for it. So if you're just trying to get everyone to like you, you're going to be blocked from, do I want everyone to fucking like me and dumb it down, yet compromise my integrity and what I actually want to say? Or am I going to do the thing that I want to say, although it may get less views or less people connect with it, but the right people will. And yeah, that's why I say it's like you do it for the validation, you'll sell out on your fucking dream, you'll sell out on your purpose, what you want to share. And
do you ever see people who you can tell are so deeply in the physical that they don't really understand what it means to build your inner presence or energy or subjective experience of life, and they're so deeply in the physical that it's almost like they're just floating along the surface. They don't even know what a present gaze is or what presence is, or that they could even control their own subjective experience, and that actually they could enjoy even a simpler life more by doing that, and they're just stuck there.
Well, not just that, like, dumb it down even more. It's like most people aren't even living, on one hand, in the physical world. They're living in their head, and like this world of like trying to fit everything into this logical map, or like, again, like concepts. It's like there's this, but this has to make sense, but there's, and it's like contradictions. They freak out and they're pissed off. So they're not even living in the physical world, and most people can't connect to their emotions, connect to other people's emotions, or even notice what an emotion is. Like, they can't develop any kind of feel. And that was something that I realized with successful women. Like, say you show different videos of like different dynamics, there were some people who just like didn't notice the difference. I'm like, this looks like this looks like this, feel it. And they're like, I can't. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I can relate though, because I had a hard time too, so I know.
Oh yeah.
But they got to push themselves harder.
Well, it's also something the mainstream doesn't push you to do. It's like, feel your especially as a guy, it's like, feel your emotions. You're like, pussy. So it's like you just never even do it.
You know, this is why I don't get sick, right? I have body awareness. So when I feel, I can feel when my vital energy is being depleted, and then I fucking stop. Right. So my theory is that the reason we get sick, just a theory. I mean, I don't fucking know. I'm just, you know, I'm sitting here with a bottle of water and a fucking theory. But like, you know, to me, what it is that our body gets sick because it's like, it actually makes it hurt, because it's like, dude, like, because if your body could talk to you, or say like it would say, it'd be like, Julien, dude, bro, like, you're eating fucking ice cream. We can't process this. You're missing sleep. And now, in our fucking cells, there's a credit card debt of shit that needs to get fixed. You need to just sit down, don't think too much, just relax and sit down. Let us fix this shit. We've been involved for millions of years. We got you, bro. Just sit the fuck down. Just sit there, bro. Sit down. You'll detox this shit. You'll cough it out. You'll snot it out. You'll sweat it out. Immune system get in there. Just chill. A minute. Just shut the fuck up. Stop fucking up. Let us do our shit. You know, but it can't say that. So then so what it does is you get this fucking headache, and you're swelling and you're sweating. You're like, oh. And you can't think too much when you're sick, right?
Yeah.
You know? So you're kind of like, you know, you're sitting there and you're just like, you know, you're sitting there, and then your body just does this thing. You sweat, snot, like all this shit. You get it out, and then now you're good. But when I feel that coming on, like, I know I'm about to get sick, but I don't let it happen. So everybody that's like I turn off my text, because like, who knows what's some fucking text message, right? Who fucking knows what you're getting here? You turn off text. You turn on, you know, you tell anybody relevant that you're turning it off, you know, before you do it, and then you just pause. First thing I'll do is I go out to the grass in the sun, just in my shorts. Some people believe that that if you put your feet in the dirt, you get grounding energy. I don't know, but because if it's 2% possibly true, I'll just get in my bare feet in the grass, and then I'm just in shorts, and I'm pale, pasty white boy, and I get a bunch of sun on my entire body. And then I get replenishment vitamin D almost all the time, by the way, where I think I'm about to get sick. I realize that I didn't get sunlight. And so I get a little bit of vitamin D. It's crazy how fast that works. The only time I broke my no sick streak was for a couple hours, maybe like a half a day in Philly. And then I was like, wait a minute. I've been getting vitamin D. It's like winter type weather. I sent out Alfonso to get me vitamin D. I popped vitamin D, instantly went away. It was crazy. I took like 20,000 IUs of vitamin D though, which maybe is heavy. Maybe it was even 30. I mean, it was a lot. And but I just tried it, and it got away and went away right away. So then what I do is I lie down, I do that, relax, and then a lot of people say like take a vacation to de-stress. I take a vacation for fun and maybe to like get creative. But for me, actually, if I want to de-stress, I just lie quietly at home.
Yeah.
I might lie in bed and stare at the ceiling for 8-9 hours, calm, let my body catch up. And what's even getting weirder, I know how to put myself like in like a light trance, like it's like a lightly meditative trance, and I'll kind of just sit there, just like ride the trance, like it's almost like sleeping while awake kind of thing, just like light meditation basically, you know. And then do that. So now my body's catching up. Then I hop in the sauna, and I sweat in the infrared. I got the infrared sauna at home, or I'll go to Russian Banya, sweat it out, and then I drink nothing but green juice. Crank green juice, turmeric shots, ginger shots. Oh, a great one is black elderberry syrup, which could knock out almost anything. I'll get that from Whole Foods. Do that. I won't even really eat like a lot of meat or anything that my body would have to work to digest. So I want to take time away from digesting, just like some like berries, greens. And I just do that for like a day, and then I just don't get sick. It just doesn't kick in because and I might even go half the day without even eating because I just want my body not to even have to do anything. And then what happens is it's almost like you're running a business and you're getting close towards getting into negative retained earnings, like you're getting like below payroll. But as you see it's about to hit the zero, you just top it back up rather than waiting until everything goes to shit and your staff's calling you and they're like, where's my paycheck? Before that happens, you just top it back up. So people think they caught a cold. I caught a cold. I got a germ. I got a virus, right? And then I'll be like, dude, don't get sick. And they're like, oh, are you gonna like not die either? Just like don't die. Dude, we're gonna die, but in the meantime, you don't need to get sick. So, I don't know. I can't give medical advice, but the point is like, that's just what I found.
Yeah, for me it was interesting.
But people lack the body awareness
to be aware.
Even feel it coming on. They can't feel the low level cortisol or stress coming on. They're completely out of touch with their body, so they don't know when it's happening, so they don't know when to put the brakes on.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, I'd say that the interesting thing with sickness is, for me, it wasn't so much sunlight, although it probably played a huge part. It was low sleep. So for like all those years, like constant travel, it's just like constantly like low sleep. Now, funny enough, I had the willpower. Like, I don't know if it was coincidence. It was weird. Like, on tour, I never fucking got sick. And I'd feel it coming on, but I'd literally be like, don't get sick. Like, willpower it in. And I just plow through, and it would just kind of like, I guess I'd kind of stuff it down and just wouldn't feel it. And every vacation that I would take, like, say take a week off, like, it would just hit.
Detox.
Yeah, it's like, we're keeping it in. There's a week off. Like, just all that, and I was just like dead for a week.
That's amazing.
It was super weird.
That's amazing. That's great.
I mean, it was good.
It means that your
work.
body knows what to do.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You ever wake up like you have to wake up at 6 a.m. and your body just wakes you up 2 minutes before your alarm
Yeah, that'll happen.
because it knows. Trippy, right? So your body's like that when you're for sickness.
When I'm like sick. Well, now it's like this past year. Now that I'm on top of my health, it's like just been nonstop all the way through. And
but consider the fact that your body. I watched you do that. Like
The
as you're
willpower
saying it,
thing,
I'm
huh?
letting you say it for the video, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The fact that you wouldn't get sick
Just like-
until your vacation.
Yeah.
Because I was with you on some of those vacations, and like.
It sucks though. It's like the vacation.
Yeah, but better than while working.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I got sick only once while working food poisoning. And I remember I was like doing a seminar
different.
and like running in the bathroom, throwing up during this. Well, that too. It's like even if I get the food poisoning, it's like I can still willpower it through an event. But no, ideally it's like it's like fuck the symptoms, like address the cause. So it's like on top of health and I'd say being aware of like how you feel, but also being willing to honor it, because we live in that people pleaser society where it's like everyone else above me. It's like lose, win. That you don't have the the balls to stand up for it,
Boundaries.
or you feel even guilty about it, because that too, it's like you're supposed to always be on or always be hustling. It's like you're getting a little sick, loser. So you're like, oh, I gotta hide it, gotta keep hustling, and like you can't be like, no, I need a break. It's like you're ashamed. It's like being sick or like stressed or exhausted is now shamed. It's pretty weird. Yeah.
Shaming. I just like that word in general.
It's true. Yeah. It's like shame.
Shaming.
No, it's like shamed. It's like you're sick, shamed, hide that. You feel tired, shamed. You're supposed to be hustling all the time, or you're shamed. 1 minute rest, shamed.
What do you think of
Like that.
shaming in general?
I don't like it at all. I think it's the worst thing you could ever do. Yeah, I mean, well, what is it doing? It's like shaming is basically like the catalyst for you to suppress shit. For real, it's the catalyst. It's like that's like the number one reason like a lot of this stuff right now, say you have a pain body attack or shit's triggered, it's because you were shamed in the past. Like as a kid, it's like shamed. You just fully like suppress it, and it just kind of just runs you, and like you forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's fucking subconscious. So it's like it's the worst thing ever. And nowadays it's like you already feel like say embarrassed or pissed or something, and now you're shamed about that. And
Yeah.
it's like, ugh.
What do you think when you see someone shame you?
I mean, for now, I'd for now, it doesn't really get to me anymore. I mean, it used to.
Yeah.
But I feel horrible like seeing it happen because like just that in terms of let's just say in terms of like socializing, like successful women, it's like you go out. The number one thing I'm like teaching clients is it's okay to feel what you're feeling. One is, as we said, is like bring awareness to how you're feeling because you're just fucking oblivious. You're just like, how, what can I do? How is everyone else feeling? Like know nothing about you. So it's like, how do you feel? And then as soon as there's that popular word state. As soon as we're not in state, they shame themselves. It's like fuck it. It's like if you can just get rid of all that self-attack, like you'll be in state. It's like just get rid of that fucking shaming.
What do you think when you see someone shaming in general? Like when you see someone shaming somebody else?
I don't even know.
You know what I think?
What?
I think suck my fucking dick. I'm like, are you shaming me? Oh, you naughty little boy. You dirty little man. And to me, the person shaming is more fucked up than the person they're shaming. It's like, that's their suppressed shit. And they're like, don't do that, you naughty little boy. And behind the scenes, they're just like, oh yeah. Like to me, that like they're revealing the fact that of basically like that they're doing probably way worse shit behind the scenes. Like that movie American Beauty. The guy's all mad because like I think he's like gay guys or something. And then it turns out he's gay and he tries to like fuck his neighbor, and then he gets denied and he kills himself. You remember that?
I don't remember the details.
It's an amazing movie.
I saw it a long time ago. Basically, what is shaming? It's like it's a pain body attack of the person because it's like some suppressed shit is like triggered in the other person. They're like, oh, you can't do that because that's what they've been doing themselves all this fucking years. So in reality, it's like every time you're shaming, the question should be, whoa, like that's in me somewhere. And like not feel so fucking bad about it, like
And what's crazy too is like let me ask you a question. How much do you love helpful feedback?
I love it.
How much?
1000%. Yeah.
Right. So how open are you to someone that's really trying to give you helpful, critical feedback? How much helpful, critical feedback have you had to take to get to this point?
Too much.
So much, right?
A lot. Yeah.
So fucking much. So like, when somebody really comes trying to give helpful feedback, it's such a gift. You're like, wow, you know what? You could have ignored me. You could have not even told me.
Yeah.
And you're sharing this. Thank you. Fucking thank you. But shaming is this different thing, right? So we were kicking it, me and Luke, Jamie, CJ, we're kicking it at the spa one day, and this chick came. And so she kind of started going this rant about like modern day values and manners, right? She's this British girl. She's really cool. She's hot. So she's like, you know what? I don't like it when guys aren't gentlemen, and I believe in manners. I believe in like, the old school traditional values of manners, all this stuff. And I was like, great, cool, that's nice, right? And then she just kept going on and on about it, right? About like politeness and manners. And then she's like, one girl came up to me and she didn't give me a firm handshake. And I said, sweetie, if you want to work here, you give me a firm handshake. That's just polite. You go wait outside and you don't come back, right? So now all of a sudden I'm like, okay. She's really this manners thing to the point she's like shaming people over the manners. So later we're at dinner and she says, she's like, you know what I hate? A man with a small penis. And I was like, I'm thinking like, okay, Miss Manners, this is interesting, right? And then she's like, one time I met this good-looking hot guy and he whipped it out and I looked down for 1 second. I said, honey, this isn't gonna work. You need to go. And I was just laughing. I'm like, woman, I said right to her, I go, you're sitting here talking about manners. You fucking traumatized this guy, okay? Most girls don't even give a fuck about the size of it anyway, from what I keep hearing. And like, you traumatize this dude, and all that you talk about is manners. And literally, she was using this manners thing as a way to hide behind shaming people. So she's like, you need to have manners. And what it is you're taking the social mob of something that's accepted by millions of people and you're smearing it in their face, almost like a politician, like, how much do you love America? Do you love it that much? And like, and if the person's not, like, doesn't toe the line and be like, no, I love it, like that. If they don't toe the line, then like the mob turns against them. So they're actually using the weight of social beliefs, and that you're being a violator of social beliefs against them. So the manners, like literally, me and you right now, if we just hear someone say fuck when we're out, we can literally just fuck with them. We can walk up and be like, hey, sir, you got to learn some like, I'm almost like, you learn some fucking manners, right? But like, you got to learn some manners. And if you say that, that person will be like, oh shit, wait a sec.
Say it loud enough, people will join in too. They're like, yeah, they didn't even hear the fuck. They're like, yeah, manners. It's like, make America great, manners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was doing that, right? And meanwhile, she's viciously criticizing this guy. And so, yeah, it's just, to me, that's what shaming is. Like, a lot of it is like, it's like, almost like when I was in Mexico and people keep cutting me off. And then I finally said, I asked a local, I was like, why are they like cutting you off? And he's like, many of them are poor and they have no other sense of power. Except that in that one moment they cut you off, they're like, So like a lot of that shaming stuff, it's like that 1 minute where you get to have power. And people love to watch public shamings. They'll get Bill O'Reilly. Do you know that guy from Fox? And Bill O'Reilly will start shaming them. Like they'll pull up a liberal that's not quite as loudmouth as Bill O'Reilly. And Bill O'Reilly would just start viciously shaming them about their lack of conservative values. And then like the guy at home's like, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and you'll feel parts. Well, one, you feel like you're doing good because it's like shaming him. It's like we're helping. You know, you get your little high. You feel like you're part of, again, a mob. It's like, so there's a lot of people. Like, say we're like, you can't say fuck, and everyone joins in. Like, there's gonna be a little high. Like, yeah, we're all together on this. There's that sense of unity. There's a sense of purpose, and it's behind a value. It's like, don't swear, be considerate, don't say fuck, and then you just get that little vicious, like beat down.
It's like the white knighting.
Yeah, it's
like that girl has honor. Don't be a player, right? And then as soon as you're like, okay, cool. And as soon as you leave, they try to mac that girl.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is like, but we love critical feedback. But see, like real feedback is done within the context of books like Crucial Conversations or Stephen Covey's Seek First to Understand, Then to Be Understood. Like, if somebody wants to watch our stuff and they're like, watch your stuff, and I can see that the message that you're trying to get across involves this and this and this, and I can see that you're out there hustling with students until 7 a.m, busting your ass to help people, passionate. I see that, and I see the intention behind what you're doing. And I wanted to offer my feedback because maybe I think that like this could have stronger ethics, or this could be taught better, or this could be delivered better, things like that. As soon as you're like, oh, thank you. Like you're almost in tears. You're like, wow. But that's a very different thing than shaming, which is typically somebody just getting off. And then they might even say things like, you should take feedback. And then but again, it's just that same vibe to it. It's a completely different thing than feedback. Somebody that's trying to help you is not there trying to fuck your head around.
Yeah. Well, it's like, is it about you or about them? It's like, they don't even have to say like, I saw you till, you're working till 7 a.m. It's like, it's just, are they saying it like with the intention to help? Or is it's about me and my high? Like, because even the shaming is like, has nothing to do with you. They just want their fucking little high. How
do you feel when you see somebody doing that what do you think of them when you see them doing it?
In the past, it would have been like anger type shit. But at this point, it's just kind of neutral yet sorry that like, I actually don't even view it as them. It's like, it's suppressed shit just acting out. It's
That's
not
how I feel too.
It's stuff that takes over. You're just like, oh, okay. Like, I'll distance myself. Like, oh, cool. I'm not going to.
Yeah, because you can't save the whole world.
Yeah. It's literally like someone having it's a pain body attack. It's like, what are you going to do? If someone's like freaking out over something, you're just like,
getting a low vibration energy fix.
Yeah, that's cool, but I'm also not going to like buy into it, take it personally as if they're like in their right mind. Like, it's like, okay.
I wish you could just like give them a hug. Let the Care Bears. You just Care Bear them.
Then I'll shame you for that.
I know.
You're touching me, you're hugging me.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can't even do anything.
Yeah, just feel like.
Yeah. Just give them milk. Give them milk for babes.
Yeah, no, it's. Yeah, because that's really it's that pain body attack, and then you just find like through the internet too, just like millions upon millions of other pain body attacks. Just combine them together and feed each other. That's why Twitter's kind of going down now, by the way.
Isn't that crazy? Can you believe that fucking Twitter is like turning like this?
It's just like this shame machine. If you want a hit of like low vibration energy, go on Twitter.
Really?
It's insane. Yeah. Like that's all that it is. I've not seen a dirtier place. I mean,
really?
There's maybe like.
Is it more hardcore than like YouTube video comments?
Oh fuck yeah.
Is it really?
Well, because it's also all like, it's more anonymous.
Yeah.
And I guess YouTube, it's more like they'll still filter out some of the comments on YouTube, and YouTube is like, oh, you're watching the video.
Yeah.
Twitter, it's free for all, and what you do is you just look up any fucking hashtag
Yeah.
and just jump in on that battle.
Really?
And the hashtags will pop up, so you're like, what's this? Like on the left. And then you're like, that person said, fuck,
Yeah.
motherfucker, like that.
Wow.
No, it's crazy. And yeah, and it's also like, like the ridiculousness too is like, when that shit takes over, it's like, when you read all those comments, you think it's like all these like psycho people, but they're actually normal people who just had that burst, and then just like this loop had been reinforced. Like when I was going through my scandal, like there was one, like I was just curious, like on Instagram, there's like a few pictures. Funny enough, they were like nice motivational pictures. Like it was like, there's nothing you can hate about it. It was really like, change.
Yeah.
Like that. And there was like these comments like, you should fall off a cliff and die, motherfucker, and shit like that. And I'm like, this is really aggressive shit. I'm like, who the fuck's posting this? And I click on it, and it's like this Instagram profile of like this, like 12 to 14 year old girl.
I saw some of those.
Yeah, 12 to 14 year old girl, like with her dad, like, I love my dad. I love horses. Here's a picture I drew. And she's like, motherfucker. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? It's crazy.
I saw at least one of those.
Yeah. That's probably most people on Twitter. You're just like, oh my god.
It's like some regular person just like letting out a
people.
little bit of rage.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, like the way the world is. The reason why I think a lot of people have that is that you have a lot of very dense, stuck energy that comes from sitting in a classroom in this kind of, in like these rows, then going into a job where you have to do the same commute every day, and then and the work might not be
gives
that
you a
satisfying.
purpose.
And yeah, well, I think it's definitely that.
And it's exciting as shit. It's like that's the most action you'll get in your life.
Well, you read Power versus Force,
Yeah.
of course, right? So he says that like apathy is like the lowest vibration, and then from there you might have say anger. You can't jump from say apathy to say love or peace or joy. So basically, it's like it's the only way to kind of wake up is to go from apathy to
Anger.
outrage. They're actually trying to move up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I think that with the food, the very dense energy, the commuting, the disheveled thinking and discombobulated energy that comes from all the media that people are consuming, I think that what happens is that they feel this untargeted discontent, and there's this sense that something's wrong, and you can't quite put your finger on it. You're just kind of pissed, and you really need a scapegoat. And if somebody can conceivably be viewed as a scapegoat, I think that's it's a release of that, and then they can actually get this kick where they feel like they're going up in their consciousness because anger or outrage is more awake than apathy, and they've never really had a chance to taste really present energy for an extended period of time or joy for an extended period of time, and they just jump from apathy to outrage. And that's why we see so much of that, is that so much of our society, modern society, constructs us to be in apathy. And I'm speaking a lot in general terms here because I love so much about modern society. I love it so much. But it's just like, you know, there's also these other downsides to it. And because these downsides aren't well understood, people wind up getting the short end of the stick of it. Although they obviously get safety, but they've traded like a more authentic existence of like maybe living in nature or something like that for the safety of modern society. And because they don't know about the downsides of it, they wind up becoming at the effect of it and kind of a victim of it, even though like it's not like any one person that has a bad intention towards them. A lot of people with good intentions built all this stuff, but you know, a mix of intentions, but a lot of good intentions. And you see that going on, and then you wonder like, what would it take to shift that? And you think, could it be a change in the education system, like get it young? But the problem is so much of what's mainstream has to be kept at a very like consensus reality kind of level. So anything that's actually like really good and sharp, if other people disagree with it because it's polarizing, you can't even put that in to a general education system. It's like people are like just now realizing like maybe you shouldn't eat sugar and bread.
Yeah.
You know, like the low-fat diet, like that's just coming out of vogue, and you know, things like that. It's such a process to think of what it would take to change it. And the truth is it's, you know, we can philosophize about changing it, but at the end of the day, it's not really our job to even change it, right? We just run our lane, just do as best we can, and you know, just try to put a tiny contribution before you die, and just see what you can do to shake things up in a better direction, and really even look more closely at yourself, because you know you can look everywhere else, but you're just distracting from like your own temple, looking at everybody else's temple.
Yeah, I'd say, well, one is like the interesting thing is like a lot of self-help and even spirituality is becoming more and more mainstream. So it's like those
cool.
people who are a little bit more, say, ready, it's like, at least you know, it's in their focus. So they're like, oh, maybe I can check out what this is, and go down that route to find like the more nuanced stuff and actually do the work. As long as they don't get the ego high off it. Like,
well, they do.
You know,
We do too. Everybody does.
So I'd say that. Overall, I'd say a big part, funny enough, is it's really being aware of like, you know, what you're suppressing, what you're holding down, because that's it. It's like that's what's causing us all this fucking discontent. It's like we're holding down so much, and like that anger, or like it's those little releases. Like you release enough to keep the rest down there.
It's so crazy, like the way we function like this.
Yeah, and then like, that's our relief. But it didn't solve the problem at all. It's like. It's literally, I mean, I talked about this in a video, it's like you're putting your hand like in the fire, and you're just like, let me put a little water. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's relief, but it's still in the fucking fire.
Got it.
Until the next thing, a little bit more water. And you live your life that way, instead of like, take it out of the fire. But then it also kind of links to what we talked about before. It's like, what is it like with the pigs or something? Like, don't teach the pig to fly. It's like if you're just like focused, well, here's the other one. It's like if you're just focused on like actually like getting everyone to follow your advice and change, you know, in a way it's you getting hooked on that validation, and it's you taking value, because that's another subtle form. It's like you should be offering value just for the sake of offering and staying true to yourself, and like that's it, that's all you're in control. But if you're like offering, it's like take it, you're taking it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's really all you can do. Yeah. You know, make America great again.
Isn't it epic? Like, how much cooler could it get?
Make it great again.
No, but seriously, like, how much fucking more awesome could this have ever gotten? Like, you ever hear of that movie Idiocracy?
I never saw the one. I heard about
the
it.
The idea of it, right? So it's like like going down like that. It's crazy. It's so cool, dude. Like the fact that we get to live to see this. I wish like you could just like live forever and just see all this crazy shit. You know, like just so much crazy fucking shit. At least we're not living like in Iran, where they could like throw an election or like, you know, have like some of these leaders just who knows what they're doing. So, you know.
Well, I think it will get probably crazier and crazier. Because like, say you have this election, like how are you going to top it? How's the next one going to top it? Because like, no one will stand for anything less. It's like now we're numb to this. It's like we're numb to the Trump clickbait campaign. Yeah. How's the next person going to?
Do you know when me and Alfonso realized that Trump could get in? So we'd always be out shooting all night. We were in this boot camp in Washington D.C. by coincidence, and every night we'd be out running boot camp, and then in the morning we'd go shoot video blogs, and we'd then go up to the hotel little kind of like nice little room like where like the TV is, and, like the breakfast and stuff like that. So we go up there, and every morning we'd watch Trump just clown these fucking reporters and shit. You know he clowned Chris Cuomo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time, dude. Like it was epic. He was like, Chris Cuomo's like, you can't just retaliate like this against everybody. You can't just have this outrage against anybody that criticizes you ever. And Trump just fucking flatline looks at him, doesn't even blink, and I don't even know how Trump does it, because it's like his frame is crazy. Like his ability to hold frame is crazy. Unwaveringly, he just looks at Chris in the eye, and it was something like, I mean, this was a year ago, but it was something like, well, of course you're saying that, Chris, because your show is rapidly losing viewership, and you're losing relevance. So you feel the need to say that, and but there's no. We're like, what the fuck? Like this dude doesn't give a fuck, and like you can't not watch that. So the next day we watch more of it, and Trump just goes off on some other dude, and then on the third day, you know, we're out shooting all night, and we go to the room to grab breakfast before bed. Basically, it's like late night dinner. Probably shouldn't be eating it, but anyway. And then Trump's not on. And me and Alfonso were like,
where's our hit?
Where's Trump? We want Trump on. And then I was like, wait a minute. Oh, shit. If people think they're voting for a TV show, it's more fun to watch the Trump TV show than the Hillary TV show. He could get elected.
That's it. Yeah. That's what it is. It's like, what's more fun? What'll be more fun?
Way more fun if Trump gets in on TV.
And people don't think realistically, too. It's like, you know, which situation is going to stir up more shit? Which one's going to cause like in a real life Twitter mob. Trump.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, like, we'll know it's like something crazy.
He's so polarizing though. I don't know if you could actually run a presidency like that polarizing. I mean, just the sheer amount of protests.
Well, I think so, but I also think like you probably don't have that much pull. It's like just all fucking show. It's like then there's like all the politicians behind. It's like, well, how much can you really do? Like, how much can one fucking person really do? Probably not that much.
The Congress probably won't let him do most of the stuff, just like with Obama. But the thing is, like, or at least a lot of it. But I wonder if he could even like avoid getting, having assassination attempts on him, or things like if he could avoid, having huge, very angry protests outside of even a simple speech. He would really have to cool it off, and I don't know if he will. So, this could get even crazier. This could be a hell of a TV show.
The daily dose of Trump would go on and get crazier and crazier and crazier.
Yeah, but me and you and our team, we make great clickbait, right? We make great fucking clickbait. I mean, the things that we say, well, especially for myself, like I make a lot of very like silly jokes, right? I mean, literally, like the way my mind works is everything's a fucking joke. So like as soon as you talked about like that picture where you jump up like this, I want to do the thumbnail like that. And people are like, what's the business reason behind why you made the thumbnail like that? And we're like, like they don't realize that like 90% of us behind the scenes is clowning, like just how to be the biggest idiots possible. So there's just so much great clickbait in our stuff because it's like, and like we had to choose like, do we want to not clown anymore? Do we want to not have fun anymore? Do we want to not express anymore? And I definitely think that like certain things, like with your stuff, we're just like, all right, okay, like cool. That could clearly be misinterpreted. That's a bad attempt at humor. You win. Correction made. Yeah. Cool. But then the stuff where we're just kind of having fun, but still kind of crazy, but not like in that vein. I think that like we want to have fun, right? So we're gonna get clickbait our whole lives. I think. It's just one of those things. We have to, because I mean, if we're otherwise, we've got to like just go politician style, where it's just like,
yeah, fuck that.
Make America great again.
Well, even just like the swearing. That's something I get. Like people are like, wow, so much to swear. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna keep fucking swearing.
Yeah, because we're fucking retards is why we swear. Why do you think we fucking swear? Because we're stupid. Like that's the whole point. Like I'm from like Canada.
Or we'll turn into self-help people. Like, just find a mentor and give.
Well, so like I mean, where you grew up, did people swear?
Yeah.
Do you swear more than them or no?
Right now I do, yeah.
Do you? Okay. Where I grew up, I mean, you're from Canada.
Swear.
You swear, you spit, you swear, you get in fights. Like that's what's up. Yeah. So now it's like oh hi everybody, like that. I mean, I guess we could do it if we want. I mean, I suppose if you could get into kind of like bigger spheres and maybe like when I did Cisco. Right, I'm not gonna sit there like, listen, bitches,
yeah.
suck my dick, Cisco. Like, I can adjust, but because we run our own channels, we can do what we want.
Yeah, it's like there's always like a depending on the context, like you need a certain awareness, but otherwise, yeah, it's like with the internet or channels, it's like you can literally do what you want. It's also choosing like literally what we talked about before. You're gonna dumb it down and maybe get more people, but you're compromising who you are, and it's like not really helping them. Or you're just gonna stay true to it, and like maybe it'll reach less, but the people will be the right people, and like that'll actually fucking change their lives. It's like keeping it real.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like also like kind of bringing back, like, as cheesy as it sounds, that power of authenticity. It's like people forget, like they don't even know what the fuck authenticity is anymore. And like they're just like, yeah, authenticity. It's like nah, stay, like bring more awareness, like literally everything we talked about. Bring more awareness to how you fucking feel. It's okay to put that first. Like, don't hold it back. You don't have to fucking hide it. Be real. Be authentic. Put yourself out there. Stay true to yourself. Stop compromising it. And if everyone did that, like, there's the solution. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a comment here below, as I personally read every single one myself. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button, share the video, tag a friend, you know the deal, and check out some of the other ones as well, as I post on here every single week on topics that range from business, self-actualization, spirituality, and so much more. So get on that now. And once again, thanks for watching.